That fucking dude, I can't even begin with this movie right now.
Did we start?
Now we did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I did see you hit record.
I did.
Are you sure? I don't want to have to do
Boom. It's right there. Boom. It's been done.
Okay.
Oh my god. Ugh.
All right. What is up, everybody? It is another episode of the Strictly Platonic Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm not Jack.
And he is also a host.
I am a host.
We are co-hosts.
Hello and welcome back to the XXx XanderCast.
Yeah.
Return of XanderCast.
Just a little heads up now, this episode is going to contain some spoilers for the movie XXX Return of Xander Cage and possibly the other ones, but those came out several years ago.
So if you watched, I believe it was episode 2,
Yeah.
the XXX cast,
Yeah.
I think you found out how much Jack loves the series XXX.
Yeah, I do.
So recently, XXX The Return of Xander Cage came out, and we were like, let's go see that. That sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And we did.
We went to see it, and we just got back. Like, we finished watching it maybe 20 minutes ago, if that.
We said we have to do a follow-up.
Yeah. So this is the XXX cast, Return of XXX.
Return of Xander cast, dude.
So where should we start with this movie?
How about the fucking beginning?
All right.
Where I called that shit.
So my co-host over here.
No, that's me, not Jack.
Yeah. Within seconds, well, the opening credits were probably 2 minutes long, and he was just like, something's going to explode, like, as soon as this movie starts.
It would be XXX otherwise.
And the movie started, and it was a satellite, and it just started falling from orbit, and it caught on fire.
Fucking bursts into flames, like, seconds after I had fucking mentioned it.
And then it fucking exploded on the ground, presumably killing, I can't remember his name, Gibbons, and the new XXX, who was just a soccer player.
Fucking... And then Gibbons is like being XXX because apparently anybody can be XXX now.
Absolutely anyone can be XXX. The new XXX recruit was a soccer player. No, that was it. That was all he did. He kicked a napkin holder into that guy's head.
Like, I hadn't seen a XXX movie until today.
Yeah,
but as soon as I saw that, I knew what I was fucking getting into.
That was your first mistake.
Immediately knew what I was getting into.
And then, also, I want to talk about, before we get too heavily into the Xander Cage stuff, or the XXX stuff in general.
Right.
In State of the Union, at the end, Gibbons and Darius.
This is still XXX.
Before we get too heavily into Xander Cage stuff.
Okay.
Darius and Gibbons are closing in an elevator, and he's like, who's going to be the next XXX? And Gibbons was like, I know just who to pick. Flash cut, that's jump. Flash cut to 12 years later, and it's not anyone new. It's the same guy from 20 years ago.
Because they finally got funding to make another fucking shitty movie in this series.
All right, what do you think they spent all their money on in this movie?
What you said, I agree with. Just hot women.
It's just a myriad of hot women.
Yeah.
And then also Ruby Rose, and I wouldn't say Ice Cube would be expensive, but getting Vin Diesel back would be.
Yeah, what didn't he like produce or direct it though?
He did produce it. So also Shanghai Films was the people who made this. So that's a little whatever.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by that.
That speaks.
I thought maybe it's because this movie probably takes place in like some country that's not America heavily. It didn't. It just didn't. Like, Detroit was the main scene because they spent all their money doing other shit. So it was just, let's go to Detroit.
Well, they had gone to like other places
For like 10 minutes. And it was like inside of a building in that place. So does it even count?
No.
Hey, we're in a plane over Europe. That's Europe, right?
Fucking the first time you see your boy Xander. He's
Where was
climbing
he?
up a fucking...
They never said where he was.
He was speaking Spanish.
That could be...
So it was a Spanish-speaking country.
That could be anywhere from South America to Central America.
Yeah. So he was climbing some fucking radio tower, and he put something on it, like... And then he pulls out his phone that just says DEFCON 1.
Can we talk about how he pulled out his phone and it was upside down and it said DEFCON 1 with a timer the right side up?
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to take
Where to get that technology? I can't even do that with my phone.
But this is all stuff you see from the trailer, basically. And then he skis off down a mountain, which is just incredible in its own. Lands on a hut.
After a bunch of fucking policemen came up to him and was like, "Hey, stop that."
That was it. They didn't do anything. They
And then
just
he flips them both off while triple back flipping off of this huge like radio tower.
It was
with ski shoes.
Yeah.
And starts skiing down just this fucking regular slope.
And then
wooded slope.
And then he lands on a metal roof and some kid hands him a skateboard and he's like, "Good job, kid."
Skateboard with an X on it.
Yeah. And he just starts skateboarding and then he does all this cool shit just to find out it was in time to see a soccer game.
Yeah.
And
he was
then
hacking it so that everyone could see the soccer game.
And then there was that woman who I guess he had a relationship with who you never see again in the entire movie.
Yeah, it seems like they had a steady thing for a while, and they bang immediately, and then she's gone. Never again. You never see her again.
And then they get XXX back through all the stuff you see in the trailers. And then he's like, fuck these military boys. Sends them out to shoot. And then he gets just a myriad of people, like instantly, like with no qualm. Like, one of them was under arrest. One of them was famous and presumably busy. The other one I can understand because she was shooting lion hunters, so obviously she was pretty clear.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that Ruby Rose's character, Adele, did, was she was like, "Oh, she's hunting a lion," and then 3 people walk up to shoot the lion with a bow, and she just fucking shoots them all in the legs, and then the lion starts chasing them.
And then just like one guy's trying to crawl away screaming.
So she's a real hero in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He fucking kicks out a bunch of army boys out of a moving helicopter.
No, it was a plane.
Whatever. Plane.
Yeah, and then they get all those guys there pretty easily and inexplicably, and then they show them the equipment room, and none of them take any equipment that they didn't come with, and then and then suddenly they're in this place where there's these guards standing in like trees in the swamp, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, that's gonna be a point later." It wasn't.
Nope.
And then they all go in, and then they kind of just party, and then they meet the guys that have Pandora's box, which is what they're looking for. And they just kind of talk, and then suddenly they're riding bikes around and beating people up with the bikes, and the guys are Russian, and they're doing incredibly...
Fucking Russian guys come out of nowhere. And then Vin Diesel drops a bunch of racist shit.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna die," and then the 2 Ivans by the stairs, and then Igor!
And the fucking Moscow mule over there.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, fucking calm down, boy.
And it was nighttime while that was all happening, and then they get on the bikes, and suddenly it's day, and then they're in the waves on the beach, and it doesn't even look like the same place.
Yeah.
And then suddenly everyone's pretty much on the same team.
There's a fucking cat on my chair?
No, there's not. That's my foot.
Oh.
And it's suddenly like everybody's on the same team. Nothing really makes sense. There's no plot to this movie. It's to get Pandora's box and do backflips, I assume.
I just love how they assemble like the original team. Yeah. And then they just show all of them. And then all of a sudden they're all together and they're friends.
Yeah, duh.
There was no like, "Oh, hey, will you join this? Will you join?" They were all just there. And they all just joined and they were in the party.
And then it's found out that all the bad guys are also XXX. They were all a variation of XXX.
Because apparently fucking everyone is XXX now.
Everyone in this universe is XXX. That's what it's going to be. Jesus Christ. What else happened in this movie?
Well, there was fucking...
There's about a solid 4 explosions total.
Which I'm going to be honest, I was expecting a lot more.
Me too.
A lot more shitty explosions.
Yeah.
But what we mostly got was Asians doing fucking
karate
copious amounts of flipping when it's not necessary.
And beating people up.
Yeah. But mostly flipping when it's not necessary.
I love the guy with white hair. He had probably 3 lines. Other than that, it was just screaming and sprinting kind of funny.
Where were you at the rub and tug? Yeah, said hi to your mom.
That was like his only line.
Yeah, that was like it. It was like fucking decent.
And then Hawk, the big white dude who was apparently another XXX, he had less
He was a fucking XXX?
Yeah.
When did they even say that?
That whole team was made up of former XXXs.
Fucking seriously?
Yeah.
The little white-haired guy was a XXX?
Apparently.
I thought it was just the Chinese dude and the fucking Indian chick. I thought only they were also XXX.
No.
All of them were XXX?
I think so. The movie did a
The movie is
job
fucking
explaining it.
horrible. There was a solid maybe altogether 7 to 8 minutes of plot, and every time there was an issue, it was solved within fucking like 40 seconds.
Where are we supposed to find Pandora's box? Don't worry, I know this is the person to go to. Goes to this hot woman who's under house arrest, who was in the other movies. I'm pretty sure. And then
Here, have sex with all these ladies. Also, here's where the fucking people are.
the woman says something about 9 in 10 relationships are ruined by adding sex into them, and then he's like, "You've always been one for the odds," and then she's like, absolutely. And then they lean in for a kiss and she goes, not. And then she's like, but these girls like stiff odds.
Fucking like 6 chicks all come in.
6. It was probably like 10. There was 2 in there and then like 8 more poured in.
And then he drops some shitty one-liner. What was it? Oh yeah. God. The things I do for my country.
Yeah, and they're all like topless on the ground, but laying face down, so you don't see anything unmentionable. Obviously, because it's only.
They're also all wearing their underwear.
Yeah, they're all
I
wearing.
don't know
their
about you
underwear,
guys, but if you were just finishing up an orgy, but hypothetically, of course,
especially if you were XXX.
Yeah, yes.
Maybe he just tore through the underwear because he's XXX.
So there's just a cock hole.
Yeah, duh, XXX.
Fucking XXX.
God, and then where else? Like, what
was there like 3 minutes of plot?
Not necessarily the plot, but other things that happened. What was her name? Becky. She was pretty funny.
Oh, the tech chick.
The techie, yeah. She's like, man, XXX, you're back. This is cool. This is just like when I saw the reunion of Guns N' Roses, except I wasn't there. I just heard about it. She's like, sorry, when I get excited, I just kind of run my mouth. And then she's like, what are you? Like 220, 230? You're a big guy. Don't lie. My limit's like 250. And she's like, not that I'd need a safe word or anything. It's kumquat, by the way.
Yeah, she was pretty funny. That was probably one of the 2 or 3 actually good scenes in the whole movie.
What about when the guy who played the Hound was in it and he did absolutely nothing?
Yeah, he served no purpose.
He could have not.
He didn't
been
advance
in
the
movie.
plot at all. He did 2 things. He sat in the boat and he crashed.
X told me to stay in the boat.
And then he also got shot
He
3
got
times.
shot like 3 times because he's like, I have a plan. And then he runs out, gets shot 3 times, and falls over the other guys to drag him away.
It's just all fucking. And then what? So then they find Pandora's box, and then they're like, "Oh God, this is a fake Pandora's box. We got to go get the real one." And then they're like, "Well, how are we gonna find the real one? I don't know. Fucking scan for it." And then they immediately find it, like seriously within 40 seconds of that plot problem showing up.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, okay, so it's here.
It's in Detroit."
Let's all just go there."
And then they show the bad guy who's in Detroit. The bad guy, I guess, who I have no idea who it was. I think it was that guy he circled on the monitor.
Yeah, no, we don't know what the bad guy wanted or who he was.
Well, he wanted, what was it, to spy on people? I think? I'm not sure. But then they were filling the room with heaters, and I was like, why are you filling the room with heaters? You're clearly sweaty as fuck. And they were leaving all the windows completely open. It was a big floor with a lot of clear windows.
It's true, it was.
And then fucking XXX and the other guys show up, throw some guy down a staircase, and he hits his head on the way down. It goes boom, dink. That was a big point. Then
that dude's fucking dead.
Oh yeah, he was dead.
He's incredibly dead.
And then he went empty as a reference to the gun he was trying to shoot them with, also his head.
Fucking
And then they go up to that guy and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's Pandora's box in the room." And they're just talking about it. And suddenly the guy who the antagonist is just there with a gun pointing it at XXX, and he's like, "Haha, I'm going to shoot you or something now." And I was just like, where did he come from? It's a big open room, and suddenly he's just in the middle of it. And they didn't see him.
They didn't see him or, look around to see if he was there or anything.
Yeah, and then the sniper was like, "Oh, I can't get a good shot out." And she's like, "I'm switching to thermal." And then...
Oh, that's why he has the heaters on.
Yeah, but like he could have just blocked the windows. And then they wouldn't have had a shot at him at all. And
he also wouldn't have been really hot.
Yeah.
Also, you'd think he'd block the windows anyway, considering what he's doing.
Yeah. True. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, I mean.
And then he was doing the read between the lines thing where you hold up your index, middle, and ring finger all together. And she's like, oh, read between the lines. I get it. And XXX was like, you're a stupid bitch. And you've got something in between your teeth. And that's been bothering me. And he was like, really? That's like the last thing you want to say? And then he pulls his middle finger down. The bullet travels between his fingers and hits the guy in the fucking head.
Chances are the fucking sniper bullet was larger than the gap between his fucking fingers.
Did you see him after that? He went, ow, and then shook his hand. Ah, jeez.
Fucking cat.
Oh, and then
when the most fucking unsurprising plot twist ever comes.
The NSA wanted the box and to kill XXX all along.
For the last 10 minutes, the XXX program has been canceled. Shoots him. Oh no.
Oh no, he's dead.
Holy shit. He's not dead, guys.
Yeah. And then he looks up at the other XXX, whose name I don't remember. What was his name?
I don't fucking care, but we need to talk about what was going down on the ground
Asian
at this
guy?
point. The other people were in the middle of this huge firefight doing fucking something. I couldn't tell you. I have no idea what they were doing over there.
While being invaded by more NSA agents?
Yeah, I don't fucking know. And then, so they're getting their ass kicked. They all ran out of bullets because why carry extra bullets, apparently, in any movie?
Don't forget that scene when Adele and the Indian chick, whose name I don't remember because she was very little talked about, were shooting 2 pistols and they were spinning around and being all cool. And then they do the back-to-back thing and shoot left and right at the same time. That was pretty cool.
No, it wasn't.
You didn't love that?
No.
You didn't love how, like, suddenly out of nowhere, these people who didn't trust each other at all are suddenly, like, shooting over each other's heads? They're all deaf, by the way. There's no way they're not deaf. That, like, they were all shooting guns next to each other's heads.
And then fucking, so everyone's out of bullets.
Yep.
They have 2 throwing knives. They're like, all right, guys, let's do this. We gotta just rush them, which is the worst idea ever. All of a sudden, the whole place starts fucking blowing up. Yeah. Heavy rap starts. And then just Ice Cube is on the fucking rafters with a grenade launcher.
Ice Cube, a.k.a. Darius Stone, the former XXX. He's been waiting, and then it shows his little bio. Former XXX, been waiting since 2005 for somebody to press number 9. And then, as soon as that ends, Becky was like, oh my god, it's Darius Stone, XXX since 2005. In case any of you couldn't read, basically.
Yeah.
And then he was like, X always covers their own.
Why wasn't he there the whole time?
Exactly. Why did
he just show up at the end?
Imagine what 2 XXXs could have done.
Apparently not much.
Yeah,
kick a fucking napkin can.
Yeah, that guy was pretty cool. What about in State of the Union? Like, Darius Stone's whole, big point in the movie is when he assembled his crew. It was just a bunch of thugs from his former crew, and he's like, yeah, this is my crew. And then they walk up to a tank. They find a tank for some reason. I don't remember what the thing was. And they tear the top off, and they go, yeah, this is the first tank jacking in history. That was like the big moment in the last movie. And suddenly in this movie, he just comes in with a grenade launcher and suddenly can do all the things that the other XXX could do.
That fucking movie was 30% sexual, 50% just fucking retarded action, and then 20% plot.
I'd say like 5% plot.
There was at least a reason for them to be doing everything.
Not really.
So I'll give them like 20%. But that's like the most I'll give it.
Well, what was your favorite line from the movie?
I can't remember any of it.
My favorite line was after Darius Stone showed up with a grenade launcher. Rock, paper, scissors, grenade launcher.
What a fucking really, really dumb movie.
I'm disappointed they didn't have a return of the Xander zone from the first movie.
There were times when I was sitting in that theater where I could not stop laughing. It was for like a straight 2 to 5 minutes.
That for me, that was when Ice Cube showed up.
I know. I just look at you and you're fucking dying. Like your mouth is wide open. You're like smacking your knees and like starting to cry a little bit.
Because like, one, he wasn't dressed special or anything. It looks like they just found Ice Cube, pulled him off the street, and were like, "Here, be in XXX again."
Here's $20 and some and some Long John Silvers.
Yeah.
Play this role for us.
Darius Stone likes hamburgers. Yeah, don't you remember from State of the Union when they were like, "All right, we need to get moving," and he was eating a hamburger, and he was like, "Nah, what I need to do is sit here and eat another hamburger."
Hell yeah!
And then I just thought, man, that's probably just what Ice Cube was saying while they were telling him to move forward and recording.
I don't even know what else to say about that film.
It was fantastic.
I disagree in a multitude of ways.
Did the former ex Asian guy? No, he didn't die. He got shot and he ended up on the ground perfectly fine, and they never really told you how.
Yeah, after fucking Xander flew the plane into a satellite falling from the sky, which apparently since they exploded in the sky, nothing's gonna hit the ground.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So he saved the day, saved him,
and then Xander jumped out of the plane. Also, apparently, he knew how to fly a plane. But
dude, don't worry about it.
Jumped out of the back of the plane. He was like, "Make sure you record this. It's gonna be low orbit free fall." And then he just jumps. He finds a box, jumps on it, and then like pulls the parachute out. And then the box is slowly going towards the ground. And it hits the ground, and it fucking blows up basically and shatters everywhere.
And he's just standing. He's like, "Hey, did you get that?"
And the guy's like, "Yeah," and he's holding the shittiest camera you've ever
like
seen.
240 by 480.
Yeah, if that, dude.
Or 360 by 480, whatever the hell it is.
And then I was absolutely right. He ended up with that Indian woman who they never really said. They didn't really talk about much.
Yeah, they've exchanged maybe fucking a handful of sentences.
Yeah, but what about when they were flirting via gun and knife and grenade and earlier in the movie?
And then they fuck.
They didn't. They didn't say that. They didn't show that.
They didn't say it.
They only got the one. They only got the one explicit thing, and that was in the beginning. That's how they kept the people interested. Yeah.
Overall, my rating of that movie, fucking solid 4 out of 10.
My rating for that movie is a solid 8 out of 10.
You just fucking love how shitty it is, and that's why.
Absolutely. It's great. It's the best B movie ever.
Sorry if you're about to hear some rubs. My fucking cat has entered the vicinity.
What other sweet things were in that movie? Oh, yeah, there's copious amounts of backflips.
Yeah, I said there's just a lot of Asians doing flips for no reason.
Remember when the guy with the white hair was running down the street screaming at the guy motorcycling and shooting at him, doing like back handsprings, and then just does a back handspring, kicks the guy in the face,
and lands on the fucking motorcycle?
Also, like, when they were all breaking in that building in the beginning, why was that Indian woman there? What did she do to further... Oh, no, wait, she cut the door open. That's right.
What a fucking pain for her, huh?
I know, right? Also, why did they bring all that equipment? That equipment requires a lot of power, and it requires also an airstream.
Dude, don't worry about it.
Why didn't they just bring one
Xander
explosive?
Cage.
It wasn't Xander Cage.
Xander Cage, dude.
Xander Cage.
Xander Cage.
That is a fantastic film series, a perfect trilogy that no one wanted or asked for.
I fucking hated it. I hated how much I loved hating it.
Yeah. The first one, it was okay. And then Xander dies at the end, and you're like, all right, cool. And suddenly they're like, yeah, here. I know it's like 8 years later. Here's another one. It's got Ice Cube in it. Ice Cube isn't an action star, nor is he in shape to be an action star. Here you go.
But don't worry about it. He's doing it anyway.
And then in this one, they're like, oh, all right, Xander's alive again. We're not going to talk about why.
Yeah, bad movie.
What about all of the cool scenes with Ruby Rose, like when she climbed that tree with all that white cloth?
And it was like wrapped around her body in a very, very sensual fashion on purpose.
Yeah, I would say explicit. That'd be the word I would use.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, one, her arms were free, so holding a gun would be a huge pain, especially holding it accurately. But she was like, whatever, it's fine. And then when
the whole movie is just a fucking shit show.
And then when she dismounts from the tree, she's doing all that spinning out of the ropes and all that, and she's like spinning, doing all this cool shit. Suddenly she's at the bottom of the tree with more than enough rope to be like 3 times around her waist, spins and then shoots a guy in the head. 1, where'd her rifle go? 2, she didn't go up there with that much cloth. 3, where'd she get a pistol?
She went up there with enough cloth to do the thing where you wrap it around the tree and climb up with it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she had like fucking a California king size sheet.
She went up there with like maybe 3 feet of cloth, and then came down with like maybe like 40 feet of cloth.
That movie is imagine just a shitty 90s action film, but recorded in high def. That's all it is.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
All it is. The acting isn't even better.
No.
It hasn't even improved. In fact, one of the fucking main characters, the
NSA woman?
Yeah, the NSA bitch is like one of the worst actresses.
She's got resting bitch face, which I think is the only reason they chose her. And then all of her lines were just flat.
Yeah. She had just like that completely straight resting bitch face, and she's just like, "Hi, join XXX.
Xander.
I will do it. I will not. I am Vin Diesel.
That's not good.
I am Vin Diesel. I will not.
Xander, you need to get Pandora's box back. So the NSA can have it and do cool stuff with it.
I don't wanna. I don't like you guys.
Okay. Welcome back to XXX.
Okay. There you go. That's the first 30 minutes summarized for you.
How they got him back. Like, oh my god, it was amazing. Also,
Don't say fucking amazing. It was not.
Also, every single woman had basically some form of skin tight or scandalous clothing. Yet they all always had like 3 guns, and I don't know where they were keeping them.
Don't worry about it. Xander Cage.
I don't think that's a good excuse.
Xander Cage.
I don't think that's a good excuse for not
Xander Cage.
I don't think that's a good excuse for not Xander Cage. I'll say it. I'll say it again.
How dare you? Are you shunning the power of Xander Cage?
Also, remember that party at the place they brought all the guns to get into?
Yeah.
And then how all the Russians showed up, and then for some reason everyone at the party had a gun? When did that happen?
I think the funniest thing, too, is they show up with a fucking case full of guns.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say, I want these guns. He just says, give me 30% of those guns.
Yeah. And
Any 30%.
And then Xander's like, 10%.
No.
18%.
No.
22.5%.
How do you do a half?
Takes gun and then breaks it over his knee. Like that. Haha, I like you. All right, you're good. That's it. Also, there was probably 30 women in bikinis standing behind that man.
Yeah. That's where all the fucking...
That's where all the budget went.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell? Glorious Actor the Hound, they spent most of the budget on him, even though he was in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Man. That, like... And then they left it open-ended, just like State of the Union. So... I guess we're going to see another one in 10 more years?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully.
You fucking disaster.
You're telling me.
What would Vin Diesel do if he was poor?
I have no idea. Probably mug people.
Like he was still ripped, but he was never a movie star.
Work at Target.
What position?
Cashier.
Just a fucking cashier at
Yeah.
Target?
Yeah. Can't you see it?
No.
Yeah.
He's too muscular. I always imagine him with fucking glistening biceps.
All right, where do you think he would be then?
Back room.
I mean, not necessarily fucking Target.
Lifting and sweating.
Not necessarily.
Putting in the body work.
Like, not necessarily.
Keeping this country afloat.
So was your guess also Target?
No.
What was your guess then?
I don't know, maybe a fucking... I can't think of a trainer.
Personal trainer?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the 90s, when he first started becoming an actor, he wasn't buff at all.
He was pretty buff.
In the 90s?
Yes.
He was just normal dude.
Dude, he was not.
Hi, I'm XanderCast.
Show me one picture of Vin Diesel not ripped as fuck.
Watch the entirety of the first XXX. And he just...
I don't want to.
He just looks like a normal bald guy. Also, he's been bald since he was like, what, 20?
I think there's something going on there.
Like he shaves his head because that's a style. Is he a skinhead? You heard it here first, folks. Vin Diesel, if you're out there, hit us up to try to confirm or deny these rumors.
Maybe he's sucking on that...
Where are you going with this?
Sucking on that not hair juice. I'm trying to think of a drug that makes your hair fall out. Jum, I'll kill you.
Any drug that stresses you out?
Most of them.
All of them? No, yeah, not all of them.
Leave my fucking pen out of this, Jum.
Regardless.
What would you do if you were poor?
What would I do if I was poor?
Yeah.
Try my absolute hardest to become Vin Diesel.
Fuck you.
What would you do?
Work at Target as a cashier?
What would you do if you were poor?
Lusting after that backroom position you've been fighting for the past 2.5 months?
What would you do if you were poor and not be Vin Diesel?
If I was poor. I don't know. I've never been in that position.
Yeah, really?
Never been in that position. Never. Nope.
All right. What do you do when you're poor?
I just said I've never been poor. Mm-hmm. Or are you saying what would I do if I was?
Sure, the thing I said the first time and you said you didn't know.
Shit. I don't know what you're talking about. If I was poor.
It's okay, take your time.
Are you asking what kind of a job I would do?
Sure, what would you do? What would you find for money?
I don't know. Find a back alley and ask people if they want me to mug people for them.
Why don't you just mug the people? I feel like you being the middleman isn't the necessary part here.
Hey, I'm trying to build a business here, all right? I'm thinking about the future. Businesses require people, you know? It's about cooperation. I can't just float an entire operation by myself, Jack.
So you want to mug people but be the middleman in that situation? Why don't you just be a lawyer? Ha ha ha, social commentary.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thanks, folks. That's all the social commentary for today.
What would we've never been poor. Never been poor ever. No, absolutely not. Get the fuck off, kitty.
Move the cat. Stop snapping your fingers at him. That has never once worked.
It works all the time. All
right, regardless, what were you say?
If you were to be poor,
yeah,
or if you have been poor, what is the lowest thing that you found yourself doing when you were poor because of your lack of money?
I don't know. Selling everything I own.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
What about you?
There's one time where I washed some of my clothes in the sink.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It was really weird.
I once washed...
It was really weird for me. I guess it's probably not like the worst case, but it's just like weird.
I once had one pair of socks, and it was for a really long time because I was on a trip and I forgot to bring another pair of socks.
Why do you always fucking put yourself in not life-threatening or like seriously fucking... I can't... You know what? Just keep going.
Take your time. So what I did, because there wasn't a washing machine where I was, but there was a shower, so I just wore the socks in the shower with me. and then I took them off partway through, took some soap, got it all nice and soapy, and then I hung them from the shower head to leave them to dry. Boom. Perfect. If you only have one pair of socks, try that more often.
No.
You have more than one pair of socks, and you have access to laundry facilities.
It's true.
So, I didn't.
It was a situation where it was like I had clean shirts, pants, and everything else, but I was just out of underwear. And my last pair was it running dry. I'd been wearing those bad boys for 2 days, maybe 3.
Boil it. Boil it.
Are you fucking high right now?
If you buy used clothes, that's what you're supposed to do. You do that with used underwear. You boil it.
That sounds like it's going to be fucking... Why wouldn't you just clean it with fucking detergent?
What if you don't have detergent?
I had detergent.
What if you didn't?
Then I would boil it.
Hey, there it is. All right, folks. This has been another episode of the Strictly Platonic Podcast.
We always like to make progress here.
Make sure to join us next week. Next week, Tuesday, or maybe not Tuesday. I'm going to try to release them on Tuesday, but it's Tuesday at like 7 right now, and I don't have another one.
Can you stop doing that? Can you stop going Tuesday?
Oh, well, I'm going to try to release them on Tuesday.
Why not Tuesday?
Well, I don't even have another one edited right now, and I'm supposed to be releasing it before today ends, so... And I don't want to release it too late at night, so I guess we're releasing them on Wednesday.
Well, I guess that's that, guys.
All right.
Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Time.
Every Wednesday at somewhere between 11 and 5:30. No, that's too narrow of a gap.
That's 6 hours. That's 6.5 hours.
Somewhere between 10 a.m. and 7:30
Every Wednesday,
p.m.
we will see you next time.
Mostly Wednesdays, sometimes other days of the week. Find out. Once weekly. Once weekly.
Once weekly. Maybe more, maybe less.
Once weekly, preferably Tuesday or Wednesday.
We clearly have a set schedule on this right now.
Or whatever. I'm out.
Bye.
End it. End the podcast.
Hey.
Yeah. So what'd you really think about XXx?
I hate that shit.
How do you not love it?
I love it, but I really, really wish I hated it. Because I know how bad it is.
We gotta watch it sometime.
Yeah,
We're gonna sit down and watch